Pool takes an incredible amount of concentration. So it's not just a matter of putting in the work. You can spend your whole life doing nothing but playing pool, and you can become a pretty good shortstop in your town or city or whatever. But just never get to the next level. And I think most of that is because you're underestimating the amount of concentration that's required to play pool. I have a female friend who watched about a dozen of my videos without me knowing she was doing it. And she made the comment that she had no clue that there was so much involved with playing pool. And I made the comment back, something like, well, you're not alone. There's people who've been playing pool for 40 years who have no idea how much it is involved in playing pool. And a lot of people are under the assumption that if they put the time in, which you have to do, of course, if you want to be good, but there's more to it than that. It's all about your level of concentration, and if it's high, you have a legitimate chance of being a world-class pool player. But you can't see the players doing this as they're doing it. You can see the work they put in if you research it up. You can see they're working hard. But you can see while they're playing how much concentration is going around in their head. And because of that, because you can't see it, a lot of guys go through their whole life never knowing it, and they can become great local players and shortstops, but just never understand the amount of concentration that's happening while these guys are playing pool. So yeah, there's a lot to it, and don't underestimate this factor if you want to be great. That said, I think I have a little bit of a unique style of video coming up. I had some time over the weekend, and I've been playing with some graphics and stuff, and I'm gonna try something new. I'm sorry about this long intro, but it is what it is. Thanks for tuning in. Let's roll. Let's take a look at the first four balls here. Here's the cue ball, there's the 1, there's the 2, there's the 3, and there's the 4. Now let's take all that and put it on an overhead graphic and see what it looks like. Those without a plan to fail. Yeah, that's what they say. It's true too. You got to start with a plan. You have to have a plan. And that plan's going to change. You can almost guarantee it in every single game, but you still have to have a plan. You have to have a vision. You have to see that pattern. You can't just get down and randomly shoot balls into holes without a plan, because you're going to get in a position where it's impossible to run out. It's impossible to win the game. It's impossible, you're going to snooker yourself. You have to have a plan. So you'll see, when I shot this one ball, my plan was to get a little bit below the line on the 2 ball. I'm right about here, and then to go up to that, well, on this view, it's the top rail, the top side rail, if that makes any sense. And the other camera, in the camera angle, in the actual live video, it would be, you know what it is. It's the right hand long rail, it's the side rail. And to bounce off that and to come up under the 3-ball line. You don't want to go over the 3-ball line. You want to stay below that so you can pull back and get on the line for a 4-ball shot and just stun the cue ball out when you shoot the 3. That was the plan, but you'll see as this goes on and after I shoot the 1 ball, the plan on the 2 and the 3 ball changes. You'll see what happens. This is just straight center ball here. You don't want to draw. You don't want to put any draw on this because you're going to draw it right into the 3 ball, and that could be disastrous. So it's kind of a stun shot. We do have a bit of a right hand cut here. It's not much, but it is. So the cue ball is going to go to the left, and because of that stun and center ball, I know I'm going to hit the right side of the 9 ball. But I'm still hoping to get below that 2 so I can easily get back out on the 3 ball. So let's go ahead and roll it to see what happens. You just saw me walk behind the 3 ball and take a look at a brand new line, and that's because I got straight in on the 2. I hit that 9 ball a little bit more full than I wanted to, and it stopped the cue ball from rolling down below the 2 ball line. So now let's first take a look at the next 4 balls. Here's the cue ball, here's the 2 ball, there's the 3 ball, there's the 4, and now we add the 5 into the picture. So now we're really progressing through the game, and we're going to cut away here for that top view graphic and take a look at the pattern. The original plan, if you remember, was to shoot the 3 down here in this corner, but we got straight in on the 2, so there's absolutely no getting behind that 3 to shoot it in that corner. Still, I do have a couple of options here. I can draw back probably, a foot, and as long as I came up like an inch short of straight in on the 3, but I could shoot it right here in the side and just roll up for a shot or stun it out for a shot on that 4 ball, and I could easily get from the 4 to the 5 like that. But something in me says not to do it, and instead I just kind of hit a stop shot on this 2 ball. I think I drew it back like an inch. Just a hair, and I'm going to shoot a 3 ball down here in this corner. It should, it's not going to be an easy run out up to the 5 from there, but I think I can handle it, and yeah, I decided to take the long shot on the 3, so let's go ahead and roll it, Scooby. Just a tiny hair bottom here. I'm not drawing this back, I'm just stopping it, but it does come back just a little bit. For a shot on that 3, you know the plan. Let's go ahead and roll. Alright, progressing nicely through this game. You have to tell yourself stuff like that, even if it's not exactly perfectly true. You're doing good, keep going, you got this. Here's the cue ball, and here's the 3 ball, and here's the 4 ball, and here's the 5 ball, and here's the 6 ball. let's go take a look at the overhead. As you can see, we're not exactly on the line on the 3 ball, so we do have an angle that's headed in this direction here. So I'm going to put a little bit of top on it and a little bit of left hand English on it to bounce it up a table. That should get us on the 4, although we might not. It'd be nice to get straight in on the 4 because I could easily turn this into an easy out. But I don't think I'm going to be able to. I just don't have the right angle. Even with the English, I'm juicing it as much as I can to go up table, but you don't want to really slam this ball because you're going to go too far up the table and you're going to get bad on the 4 ball. You could also scratch in that side pocket there, so you have to be careful here. If we have to go down to the top rail, it ain't no big deal. I shoot this shot all the time because I'm always coming up a little bit short on this shot. The other big problem is you're going between the 5 and the 6. So you don't want to hit either of those balls. You don't want to stun it too much because you're going to run into the 5 ball. So we're shooting for that rail right there between those 2 balls, while juicing it up table a little bit. But again, you don't want to overdo it here. This is kind of touchy. It's a good shot to practice because it comes up a lot. Once we get on the 4 and back on the 5, we're shooting a 6 ball in this pocket up table. If we get straight, if we get on the left side of this 5 ball, like down here, we're going to have to go at least 2 rails back out on the 6 to shoot it down in this corner. But I'm basically trying to get straight in on the 5 so I can just roll up for a shot in that pocket on the 6. That's the plan. We'll see if it works out. Stay tuned. Top left on this. You need to stroke it a little bit. Alright, that's not too bad. Let's take a look at the next 4 balls. Here's the cue ball. Here's the 4 ball. Here's the 5. There's the 6. And there's the 7. Right at about the head string and 1 diamond out, there's an obstruction, and that's the 8 ball. So I'm going to have to put a little bit of bottom on this to curve around that 8 ball and just avoid hitting. And I'm also putting right hand English on this, so when we go down to that end rail, it doesn't go in a natural angle, which is somewhere up around there. It steers back into that line on the 5 ball for a totally unnatural angle off that rail. And I want you to pay attention to this. When I shoot this 4 ball and it hits that top rail, it goes on a completely unnatural angle, and that's that right hand English taking over and doing its job. So the agenda here is to get a little bit to the right hand side of that 5 ball line. Not much, just a little bit. From our view, it's the top of that line. So right where that arrow is pointing. And that will allow us to get easily on that 6 ball. And we want a little bit of angle so we can come off that 6 ball and get on that 7 ball line to easily get on the 8 and therefore the 9 ball. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, so let's go ahead back to the video. Bottom right here, and you're going to have to stroke this a little bit, otherwise you're not going to get that unnatural spin off that rail. You got to get that cue ball spinning. Pretty good there, Johnny. Actually, I would have liked to have been just a little bit more to the right of that 5 ball because I need to bounce off that side rail and get right on the 6. And I can't hold it for the right angle to bounce off that rail and get on the 7. I wanted to do it with the 5, but I'm not going to be able to. We're going to have to cross that path when we get to it. Here's the cue ball, here's the 5, here's the 6, here's the 7, and here's the 8. There's only one other ball, and that's a 9 ball down there, but we ain't going to count that right now. Alright, here's what we have on overhead graph. And as I said, we wanted this angle on the 6 ball to bounce out for a better shot on the 7 than we're going to wind up with. Now you come up short of the 7 ball line and get right about here, and that'll let you draw back into shape for that 8 ball line if you want to play the 8 ball line. A more popular way is to go about center table on the 7 ball and use this route to bounce out for the shot you want on the 8 ball. It all depends, you know. We didn't get to the 9. I want to stick the 9 in here so I can show you where I want to get on the 8 ball, but we're just going to have to hold our horses, dude. Oh, it's hard to laugh in the middle of all this mayhem, all this craziness. But I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I hope you guys are alright. We're going to get through this, don't worry. There's going to be some casualties, but I think we're going to be okay in the long run. Anyhow, enough of that. Yeah, you get the plan, I think. From here, let's go ahead and roll it and see what we do on this 5 to the 6. Has straight bottom here. There's no sense in putting any English on this because the 5 ball's a really full hit, and it's going to take any kind of English from the cue ball by the time you get to that rail. So might have to settle for straight in here, and probably will, but it's okay. I have something up my sleeve to get me out of this. Yeah, I was forced to just get straight in on the 6. Now don't get too crazy here. This is not as hard as it looks. And a lot of people would roll down on the 7 ball and try to shoot it in the side. On that right hand side there. That is not a good idea. In fact, that's a really bad idea. Don't do that because it's going to take pinpoint precision, and you're not going to be able to get pinpoint on the 7 unless you are the god of pool and billiards. And you're probably not, because you won't be watching this video if you were. So anyhow, let's take a look at the rest of the balls. Here's the 6, here's the 7, here's the 8, and here's the 9. Alright? Let's go ahead and move on to the above table graphic. Always come up with some kind of plan on the following 4 balls. Even if it turns out that you're way wrong, it's important to plan it because you're training your brain on how to think 9 ball. Well, that's about as straight in as you can get, but I am going to try to cheat this pocket a little bit to the right hand side so I can at least stun this up off the rail about an inch. It ain't going to be much, but it'll give me some kind of room to work. From there, I want to get to the left side of that 8 ball line, so I want to be right about here, and that'll give me the option of drawing straight back on the 9 ball for the short side of the 9 ball, or go 3 rails and get on the actual proper side of the 9 ball. Now, if you're a little bit confused about what I'm doing, we're going to come up, right back where the 6 ball is right now, and I'm drawing this 7 ball at this extreme cut all the way to the right hand rail. And because of the natural spin of the cue ball from the draw, it's going to hit that rail down there, and it's going to bounce a little bit up table, and I should be really good on the 8 ball because I have a big room, a big margin of error. And a lot of guys just are not comfortable with that shot. It's dangerous, but the difference between me and a whole lot of other people is I come from the old-fashioned school of Buddy Hall 9-ball. Buddy was always spinning balls and always drawing balls and always using the rails to get position. And, you know, you can go down to the top rail here, and that's the way most guys will play it. But I'm a little bit worried about coming off those 2 rails right down there and coming right back on to the 8-ball. And when you do that from this distance, that 8-ball could go anywhere and get in your way. So I know if I draw this ball, and if I don't miscue, or if I don't jump up, and if I keep the basics right, I'm going to get on this 8-ball. And once again, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. That was all about the 7-ball to the 8, and that is the key shot in this game. But first, let's take care of the 6-ball. And this is just a stun shot. You're just trying to cheat the pocket a little bit and push that cue ball off the rail just a hair. And here we are. So here's where the cue ball lies. Here's the 7-ball, here's the 8-ball, and there's the 9-ball. What's your plan, Scooby? Here's mine. Let's go to the overhead. We already went over this part of this pattern, this 7-ball to the 8, and I wind up executing it pretty good, and it's shot with bottom left. But as I get on the 8-ball, you'll see me really struggling here with the decision on whether to go 3 rails or just pull straight back on the 8-ball. And I'm going to save it for now and just let the video roll, and we'll get to the 8-ball when we get to it. So here I am on the 8, and I'm really torn here. I mean, I can see it in my body language. And I really don't know if I should go 3 rails or if I should just draw it back on the short side of that 9-ball and probably go to that left-hand side rail first and bounce off that for a straight-in shot on the 9. For some reason in this game, it was a really tough call for me. What do you think I did? But more importantly, what would you do here? Would you go 3 rails or would you just draw it diagonally back down tape? That's the big question.